So,
People getting crazier.
yes, they are. What's wrong with that Westlake?
All right. Thank you all. I would like to call to order the LPA meeting of June 3rd, 2025 at exactly 5:30 PM. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilman Werner,
Here.
Councilman Gleason,
Present.
Councilwoman Leonard,
Present.
Vice Mayor Langowski,
Present.
Mayor O'Connor.
Present. Please stand and join me for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Do we have any additions, deletions, or modifications to the agenda? If not, I have a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Vice Mayor Langowski, seconded by Councilwoman Leonard. Roll call, Councilman Werner,
Yes.
Councilman Gleason,
Yes.
Councilwoman Leonard,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Langowski.
Yes.
Mayor O'Connor.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Consent agenda. This section of the agenda consists of routine administrative items that require final approval by the LPA and may be approved in its entirety by a single motion. There will be absolutely no discussion of these items unless an agency member requests such. In which event it will be removed from the consent agenda and then considered on a future agenda. Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approval for the agenda as presented.
Consent agenda.
Second. Consent agenda. As
Second.
presented.
Motion by Councilman Werner, seconded by Vice Mayor Langowski. Roll call, Councilman Gleason,
Yes.
Councilwoman Leonard,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Langowski.
Yes.
Mayor O'Connor,
Yes.
Councilman Werner.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
We have before us ordinance 2025-04, chapter 119, zoning text amendment, which is all about screening those AC units on the side of the house. City Attorney, please read by title only.
Ordinance to City Council for the City of Westlake, Florida, amending Chapter 119 of the City of Westlake, Florida's Code of Ordinances entitled Zoning by specifically amending Section 11931C7 entitled Setback Exceptions for Residential R1 and Residential R2 districts under Article 2 entitled Zoning Districts and Standards to provide for clarification relative to screening exceptions for single-family residential lots, providing for codification, conflicts, severability, and an effective date.
I believe we have a presentation by P and Z.
Thank you, Mayor. Thing for the council. For use ordinance 2025-04 for the record of family owned, and for the city of Westlake.
There we go. There we go. So the proposed ordinance is a small change in addition to the section 119-31. This is in regards to screening of AC units. We are adding the following: single-family residential lots with setbacks of less than 7.5 feet shall only be required to provide visual screening from the right-of-way. This is a visual of what we're talking about. We have this narrow lots where a screening around the AC kind of traverse it's right at the property line, if not traverse the property line to the adjacent. Right now, the code requires the screening to be from the right of way and adjacent all around the AC unit. But because of these narrow lots, becomes burdensome to accomplish that. Here's another example of what we're talking about, where the shrubs on the side is right on the property line. So lots with greater setback, side yard setback, they have the appropriate width to provide this side screening. So they will be required to provide the screening, but the narrow lots, we are saying, only provide the screening from the right of way, not on the adjacent.
Just the front of the unit.
Just at the front of the unit, correct. Here's an example of lot with greater than 7.5 feet. They have more than enough space to accomplish that.
Mr. Mayor and Council, additional information on this is that one of the issues is the lots drain to the middle of the swale to the property line, and drainage goes front and back. If you start putting hedges in there, then it adversely impacts the drainage of the site. So that's one of the reasons why we really haven't been enforcing it. And now we're enforcing it harder, and it creates a problem for drainage on the site. And that's really part of the reason for not having it on the side, and it's between the houses. So it just creates a bigger problem for the residents.
I mean, I know middle drainage in the middle of those has historically been an issue.
It's,
Where, what,
Correct.
we're way far in at this point. Why are we
Yeah.
just addressing this now?
it only came up recently. You know, we,
Yeah, the developments, as they come in and being permitted, we're finding out that, small issues like this. And, that's why we're trying to update the code to address those issues.
Okay.
So current residents that already have provided these fencing or screening, are they grandfathered in?
Yeah, I
Yes.
mean, if
they're
we
not
already have-
required to remove it. A lot of them, the plants have died. They're not in there as it is, as we speak right now as well. So the bottom line is we're now being more consistent with allowing the drainage to function like it was
Now what-
originally designed.
What was in that picture? I mean, that's not screening anything.
I was gonna say, I like.
Let's go back to that picture real quick.
They're little.
I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know what you think that's screening, but it's
So
not screening. It's
when,
still
when the
okay.
shrubs
Those
are installed, they all
Those
pretty
brand
much
new.
are going to look like that.
What
When
are
they're
the-
brand new.
What are the requirements, you know,
I think it's 3 feet.
Yeah,
3 feet.
3
are we
feet,
allotting
16
for
inches,
time to
something like
grow? Is it
Yes.
spelled out in the
that.
code?
It's spelled out at time of
Is the
planting.
type
How,
of plant spelled out in the code?
correct.
Is it one specific plant that's
No,
allowed?
it's not one specific plant, but I believe it's spelled out to be at least 3 foot high.
Yeah, the height and the number is spelled out, and when
Okay.
these are permitted, they need to provide certain number of shrubs around that unit, and they need to be a specific height.
All right,
Can we
that's-
remove
that's
them
not
all?
screening a single thing from anybody.
You can remove all of your hedges from around your AC, but if you choose to change them, you have to meet, I'm just thinking
Well,
specifically.
only if you have a 5 foot setback,
Mhm,
you're required to have hedges just in the front, period,
Right,
right?
mhm. Okay.
correct. Only facing like the view from the right of way, not on the side.
And what is that height requirement in the
Hmm.
code?
Don't have it in front of me. I can get you that information.
Okay.
I don't want to give you wrong information. I don't have it in
That's
front of me.
fine. No, I mean, it is what it is, but, okay. That'll be nice.
Your illustration is a corner lot, right? This one here,
Corner lot?
Right.
that looks like a corner lot,
Yes, but the AC is on the
I
narrow
understand.
side.
but the way it's written, it says any single-family lot with setbacks of less than 7.5 feet shall only be required to provide visual screening from the right of way. So you're saying if it's on, you're showing the air conditioning on the left side there, right?
So
That's
that's
correct.
the right.
Left side of
But
the-
if you were to put it on the right side of
If-
this corner lot, you would have to screen it.
Correct.
Facing the right of way, yeah, we'll have to be a screen in the front.
Okay.
Yeah, if the unit was built with the AC on the right-hand side of that drawing, it would have to be completely screened.
Right. that's
So
what
it
I wanted
depends,
to
it depends on where the AC unit is. If the AC unit was on that side of the house, yes, it would have to be completely screened from all
Right.
sides.
So on the side of the house that he's showing on this illustration,
It's only from the front.
he only has to screen it from the adjacent property,
No, from the front,
No, from the
from
street.
the street
It's
side.
from the street only.
from the street. So from the front.
From the front of the house, as you're looking back.
Facing the street.
As you pass, you look at.
So if you're driving down
No,
the
I
road,
hear you.
look, you don't see the unit.
Mhm.
Okay.
Do you have any other questions from council? Anything you'd like to add?
Staff recommends approval. First
Okay,
reading.
That's very.
This will be, this is the first reading, so it will be heard at City Council for first reading and then come back for second reading for adoption.
And just out of curiosity, how does it help, how does it actually help the drainage in between the houses?
Because when you plant the plants and the roots of the plants disturb.
Sucks up the,
Well, no, it just the lots are graded to the, down to the property line and then front to
So it
back.
interrupts the flow.
So it
from the
interrupts the
front.
flow of the water to the
The,
street.
the accumulation also will kill the shrubs anyway.
But they could build a drain,
Yeah, if a property owner wanted to build a drain, they could.
or the developer, if he wanted to, I mean, to avoid this issue.
Well, it still has to get.
No, they-
Well,
Yard drains are problematic. We have some behind, orchards. We have some behind other places.
I thought
that we
we
have to
addressed
constantly
this some
maintain.
Years ago, wasn't there something about a maintenance easement also? So like if the service technician had to like stick
It's
his
for-
butt in the other person's
yeah, for generators.
generators.
This came,
You know,
um,
Is there the same type of maintenance easement on AC units? Or can they? all be maintained for your own
If I remember correctly, the changes that were made in the HOA documents allow the access for either a generator set or any other equipment that's on the outside, which actually allows the technician to be able to stand on the neighbor's property while he's working on your unit.
Right.
there's no such
Yes.
easement.
Listen, we've seen it all on this council.
Okay.
Okay, very good. Do we have any other comments or questions from the council?
No.
No? Let's open up for public comment. Do I have any public comments on this item?
There are no public comment cards, Mayor.
Anybody in the audience choose to comment? No? Okay. There's no further discussion. May I have a motion?
I move that we adopt ordinance number 2025-04. Planning and zoning the text AC screening,
Recommend.
chapter and
I
ordinance.
believe it's 2025-05. That's what my sign says.
04.
04.
Should be a 4.
Okay, my paperwork's wrong.
The next one's fine.
Okay. Yep, I need a
Second.
second.
Second,
Oh, just kidding. My paperwork's not wrong. I was wrong.
Motion by Councilwoman Leonard, seconded by Councilman Werner. Roll call, Councilwoman Leonard.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Langowski.
Yes.
Mayor O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Werner.
yes,
Councilman Gleason.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Excellent. We have before us 2025-05, which is Chapter 113 zoning text amendment, and it's all about the permitted use of temporary signs. If you could, city attorney, please read by title.
Ordinance to the City Council for the City of Westlake, Florida, amending Chapter 113 of the City of Westlake, Florida Code of Ordinances entitled Signs by specifically amending Section 11366, Table 11366, entitled Permitted Temporary Signs, under Article 3 entitled Temporary Signs, providing for additional installation or removal dates for non-residential sale, rental, or lease of building or portion of building, providing for codification, conflict, severability, and an effective date.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Mr. Leon.
Thank you, Mayor. For the record, Osnia Leon, planner for the city of Westlake. Before you use ordinance number 2025-05. This is relating to temporary signs, as more specifically for non-residential sale, rental, or lease of building or portion of building. Right now, the code allows to a maximum size of 16 square feet. The earliest installation date for these types of signs right now is upon issuance of certificate of occupancy. The proposed change is to change that time frame to building permit. Final removal, before it used to be until 100% of the building is sold, rented, or lease. We are proposing to change that to within 10 days of the sale, rental, or lease of the premises which the sign was installed. And the sign type, the signposts and how they installed, that is not changing. And this is just a visual of the type of signs that we're talking about. We've had a lot of requests from businesses to provide these types of signs while, trying to lease the business, the tenant space. And staff does recommend approval.
What about like a grand opening sign? Is that covered someplace else?
It is covered somewhere else. Yes, grand opening,
That doesn't include this,
no,
No,
because if I recall.
no, and we changed
we
that.
changed that several months ago.
But this is specifically for
real estate.
real estate.
For real estate signs.
sales, and
Non-residential.
Yeah.
non-residential, hold on. So if we issue a CO, they have got to get their spaces leased within 10 days?
No,
No, no.
Mr. Mayor, what occurs is currently under our code,
Until 10 days out.
you can't put up a for lease sign until you get a CO.
Rental or lease. Okay. So this keeps
Right.
these signs from being stuck there forever.
And the main concern is the earliest of the installation date, because right now it's at certificate of occupancy, and what the businesses want to do is have the signs while the building is being under construction.
Okay.
Are these signs on the building or on the property that the building is situated?
On the
Maybe
property.
Somewhere else?
On the property,
Okay.
only on the
Does it
property.
need to say that?
Well, signage off property is, I don't think
Doesn't
it's,
say that in there.
The sign code already requires it to be on the property.
it's covered somewhere in another section of the sign code. This is a specific section of the table.
Some of the buildings sold rented. Promise.
So you can't hang a sign from the warehouse, and I'm just use the warehouse because I saw that, that says for lease. You can only use a
Ground mount.
property or ground sign.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, what if a unit has multiple areas for lease?
You can't put a sign in the window?
Let me answer my question first.
Mhm.
So what if it's a single building
Mhm.
that has 5 separate units for lease?
Right.
Puts one sign with the name of his broker, and the one of them gets leased.
Right.
Is he allowed to continue the signage for the other 4?
Yes.
Yes, until the lease is
Does
rented.
that need to be spelled out here? Because this
It is.
says lease or rental for which the sign was installed. It's specifying one unit.
It says or portion of a building.
Right.
I'm reading this final.
Yeah, I understand. But the first column says or portion of a building.
So does it need to be spelled out that this is for multiple units? I mean,
I believe it's spelled out in the first column as Councilman Warner
why-
pointed
Yeah,
out.
that-
Language instead of the above language until 100% of the building is sold, rented, or leased.
That's how it was before. You said
Yeah.
why?
Yeah, why the
Why change
difference?
it?
Why the change?
Yeah,
added
We
the
don't
10-day
want to have
removal.
them out there indefinitely. So we want to be specific of if that is specific tenant, after it is rented, then they'll have 10 days to remove the sign for that specific tenant. The prior language is 100% of the building.
right. So again, this brings me back to my question of what if it's an owner who's got multiple units?
You can keep it until the tenant space is rented.
Isn't that the same as until 100% of his units are rented?
I think within the 10 days is the difference though, that first part. So maybe if we amend the ordinance here with a motion,
I mean, I
just
just
to
don't want it
include
to
that
be
100%.
You know, I wanted to.
No, I know, but I'm saying like if we amend it,
You should answer that.
Again, this is the proposed signage. If the council decides, provide an amended language, staff will. more than
if
welcome
we added
to
the 100%, Mayor,
Analyze the
in
proposed
the
language.
language that's proposed, I think we would be.
If we stick with the language
little bit
that's
clearer.
already there.
Mhm.
Just
it
add-
And just add
adds
within 10
if
days,
the
yeah.
Final sign needs to be removed within 10 days after the final lease.
Lease. Mhm.
That's fine.
Is there any reason you would be opposed to that?
Not at this moment, I don't think.
The intent of the change is so that they can put it out when they start their building permit. And then
No, I
when
get
they're,
that,
and,
Mayor.
and the other part of it is that as soon as the last space is leased out, that they need to take it down and get rid of it. So that's where we put the 10 days in. Now, if another unit goes vacant, they can now put out a new sign with a sign permit for the new lease space. But it triggers. We wanted to make sure that we had a trigger because I have seen locations where the for lease sign never goes away, even though it's fully leased.
Oh, yeah.
Because the
absolutely.
broker's name is out
There's
there.
one out there now
Mhm.
for an out parcel available.
Yes. Which is already
And
built
as
on.
far as I know, there's no more out parcels
Yeah.
available. It's still up there.
Mhm.
Uh,
Code will be addressing that.
You
So-
talking about the Grove?
So are we
Yeah,
saying keep
yeah.
the until 100% of the building is sold, rented, or leased, and within 10 days of the sale or rental, the sign shall be removed?
Yeah,
Something.
I
to
just,
that
I just don't
effect?
want, when somebody submits for an application, I don't want it to be for this, they have to submit for now unit 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D for a brand new thing that's going in. And then 1A leases, and we're knocking on their door saying, oh, you leased it, you gotta bring the sign down because that's what you put on your application. I just want it to be, the process be clear that if you have multiple, because chances
you-
are, that's what we're gonna have.
So the prior language is what the, is the preference?
But, but within 10 days.
But add the 10 days. So
And 10-day
say
removal at the end.
within 10 days of 100% of the building. You know,
work it
you can
together.
play with the language however you
Okay.
want, but just, you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Signpost shall be a 4-foot treated wood or other material. Minimum number of posts shall be 2. Directly buried into the ground at a maximum of 2 feet. Use of concrete is prohibited. Okay.
So a window sign is not regulated?
Window sign, it is regulated, 25% of the window paint,
I'm
or
talking in
20%,
terms of
20%.
with a lease.
20%. Yes, so
So
they need
put
to
the window
comply.
sign up there, and as long as it meets the size.
Yes.
It can be up there until it's leased.
Yes.
But it doesn't say that here anywhere.
So we have another section that talks about the window signage.
Windows.
So if somebody maxes out their window signage capacity for their normal type of business, and then they decide to lease their space, they're gonna have to lose some of their sign in order to add a for sale.
Or for the yard sign or sign post.
Well, no, yard post would be someplace else. This would strictly be for window. But yes, so they've already have 25% for whatever their business is.
Mhm. Well, if the
Yeah.
business, I'm sorry, the business is no longer there, the sign should not be there.
Sign anyways.
Right.
Right, I understand. Okay. Yeah, I would, I don't know, I would play with that language however we want to do it, but
Okay,
within 10 days.
Within 10
of
days.
Sale, rental, or lease of the location for which the sign, location/locations for which the sign was installed.
I think the way he's proposed it works also, because he refers to it as a portion of the building. Is that your intent?
yes.
Sale, rental, or lease, building, portion of building. In 10 days of sale, rental, or lease of premises of the building, or I would just add, of the building or portion of the building for which the sign was installed.
So at
And
the
that's
end
what-
of the added language?
Yeah, just add, take that part, building or portion of the building, and put that in front of, instead of premise, building or portion of which the building for which the sign was installed.
Okay,
Lease of the building or portion of the building for which the sign was installed.
That'll do it.
That'll do it.
Okay.
okay.
I need a motion to, let's open public comment. Any public comments on this item?
There are no public comment cards, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Need a motion to approve as
Amended.
amended.
Amended will work.
Move approval of ordinance 2025-05 as amended, as proposed and amended.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Werner, seconded by Councilwoman Leonard. Roll call. Vice Mayor Langowski.
Yes.
Mayor O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Werner.
Yes.
Councilman Gleason.
Yes.
Councilwoman Leonard.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
All right, thank you all. I will adjourn at 5:54 PM.
Let's do the next one.
6 minutes, guys, 6 minutes, and we will reconvene.